Hello, everybody, and welcome to Black Bedtime Stories. I am your griotist, Sam Adams, and tonight's story is about Crispus Attucks. Now, Crispus Attucks was a black man and former slave, and he's been coined the first American killed in the American Revolution. Crispus Attucks was killed in the Boston Massacre of 1770. During the American Revolution, some 5,000 black soldiers and sailors fought on the American side. Now, his regular job was loading and unloading cargo on ships, mainly in Boston and the surrounding areas. It is not perfectly clear whether he was a free man or slave, but historians and indications are that he was free. What does seem crystal clear is that Attucks was a brave man, and the threat of slavery did not scare him. Attucks was born in Framingham, Massachusetts. Town histories of Framingham, written in 1847 and 1887, describe him as a slave of Deacon William Brown, though it is unclear whether Brown was his original owner. Many believe he was the son of a black African slave man and a Native American mother named Nancy Attucks. Some think he may have been a runaway slave that managed to escape permanently. Attucks, however, managed to escape for good, spending the next 2 decades on trading ships and whaling vessels coming in and out of Boston. He usually found work as a rope maker. It was common for the British Navy to force men that worked on the ships to enlist in the British Navy. That was considered a hard life. Now, the way the story goes, on March 2nd, 1770, a fight erupted between a group of Boston rope makers and 3 British soldiers. The conflict was started up when a British soldier looking for work entered a Boston pub where he found a lot of angry sailors. Attucks was one of those sailors. 3 days later, the conflict continued. This was considered the beginning of the American Revolution. The British opened fire on a crowd of Americans. Crispus Attucks was among the first 5 men to die that day. Witnesses have said he was the first. Attucks became a martyr. His body was transferred to Faneuil Hall, where he and the others killed in the attack were laid in state. City leaders decided they were not going to stick to the laws that forbid Attucks to be buried with everyone else and permitted Attucks to be buried with the others. In the years since his death, Attucks' legacy has continued to last. First, with the American colonists eager to break from British rule, and later among 19th century abolitionists and 20th century civil rights activists. In his 1964 book, Why We Can't Wait, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. applauded Attucks for his moral courage and his role in American history. Crispus Attucks had been a slave, worked on a ship loading and unloading cargo, but still found himself in the middle of the American Revolution. His reputation spoke for him. He was a brave man. He taught us that you must live your life as full as you can, meaning you can't live it scared. Crispus Attucks, a Black icon. Thank you and good night.